we are wrapping up free agent frenzy on the show today, talking about the tight end position. Where are some of these tight ends going to go, and how will that affect fantasy in 2021? Fun show. Let's get straight to it.
Welcome to the Fantasyland Football Podcast.
Hello.
What up?
Hey ya. Badaki, it is good to be with you here on the Fantasyland Football Podcast. It is Friday, March 12th. I cannot believe it is already March 12th. It felt like the Super Bowl just happened.
Yeah, it's going by fast and switching it up too. It's on a Friday, a little bit different for everyone.
Yeah, hopefully starting your weekend the right way. I guess Friday is technically the weekend though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after 5 p.m., I guess it's considered the weekend. It's technically weekday. Anyway, I consider it the weekend. Heads up, guys. For all of those people out there who want to do mock drafts live with me and Badaki and I is the correct way to say that. We're going to now explain how you can be a part of that. Throughout the offseason leading up to the NFL draft, after the NFL draft, Badaki and I are going to do a bunch of mock drafts live. And you, the Fantasyland fam community, can be a part of that. What does that mean? Basically, we're going to post a link to our Facebook group. And that link, all you got to do is click on it, first come, first serve, and everyone who joins that mock draft will be able to draft with both Badaki and I while we're live on YouTube talking about it. A lot of interest has been brought up in this, so we just wanted to make sure everyone knows how to be a part of it. So step one, request our Facebook group. Okay? And we're going to give you a link to find all this information. But step one, request to be a part of our Facebook group. That's where we're going to be posting the links, first come, first serve, to be a part of the mock drafts live. Step two, we will be live on YouTube. So subscribe to us on YouTube so you can watch. Step three, turn on notifications for all the platforms you follow us on so you don't miss the opportunity to get into a mock, because it is first come, first serve. Step five, let's have fun together, and you'll get to watch it live. So the one link that you need to access the Facebook group, to request to join our YouTube page, etc., anything else, is solo.to/fantasylandfootball. Again, that's solo.to/fantasylandfootball. If you want to mock draft with us live, Dynasty rookie mock drafts, redraft mock drafts, PPR, half PPR, super flex, whatever it's going to be, if you want to be a part of that, that is a link to follow those steps. We'd love to mock along with you, but we are going to need to know news later in the show. But we are going to go straight to free agent frenzy, the tight end position.
Give me your fucking money!
All right, so a little bit of a switch up there. That's a Vine classic. All right, we're talking about tight ends on the show today. Tight ends who are free agents who could impact the landscape of fantasy football. Badaki, who is the first tight end we are talking about?
Yeah, and I think this guy's on everyone's radar is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, he's 26 years old. He finished tight end 12 last year, just outside the top 10, and he averaged 10.4 fantasy points per game. So where are you seeing Hunter Henry go, and can he reach a top 10 status again?
Yeah, well, firstly, I think the conversation with Hunter Henry is, can he stay healthy, right?
Right.
It's been an issue his entire career. Missed all of 2018 with that injury, and it's just been the conversation with Hunter Henry. Man, there's talent, but he's injured. And I think the question for every GM is going to be, can I trust this guy?
Right.
Is this an investment worth making, right? And I know I talk about stocks way too much. I'm not even that great at it, but I do invest
You love
into
some stocks.
So that's how GMs are going to be looking at a guy like Hunter Henry. How is this investment going to work out for me?
Right.
But off the bat, the one team that does make the most sense to me is the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a bright future. It's going to be bright, sunshiny days in Jacksonville. There's a bright future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We all know that Trevor Lawrence is going to go number one. So let's get him some weapons to actually grow with. And I think Hunter Henry could be his favorite target from day one if they sign a guy like this.
Wow. Okay.
Another thing is they do have cash. They got the cash to splash. So I'm not sure it's going to cost that much anyway, but they do have the money if they need to, I guess, splurge a little bit.
Okay.
And like I said, with Hunter Henry's injury history, this isn't Toyota-thon. I mean, we're shopping at a used car lot here. I love you, Hunter, but
Hunter.
that is just ultimate disrespect.
Oh, my goodness.
I see the Jags as a good landing spot, Badaki, but I'm curious, what team sticks out to you?
Look, to be honest, there's not much, but before I tell you the team that sticks out to me, I think that you need to understand my perspective, and I don't believe Hunter Henry, or the only way Hunter Henry can salvage his career is actually with a strong quarterback. Okay, kind of like a Russell Wilson, a Josh Allen, a Dak Prescott, and I don't think he can do it without a stud quarterback. Like, I do not believe it. I don't think he will ever crack the top 10 again, in my personal opinion. And this might be harsh to the Hunter Henry truthers, and they won't like this, but like I said, depending on his landing spot, I believe that he could be done in a year or two, you know, in a fantasy perspective. Okay, in a fantasy perspective, not career perspective. I think it's really crucial when we think about dynasty, and even more dynasty, that, you know, age is a factor, and also health. And like you said, his health is a huge concern. Can he stay on the field? You know?
Yeah.
And I think the only way, once again, his career will be salvaged is with a strong quarterback. Otherwise, in my opinion, he's done. Okay, he's done. He's not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen. There's no way.
What are some quarterbacks then? You're saying he needs a strong quarterback presence.
Correct.
To extend his career.
Correct. So and
be an effective guy. So what are some guys? What are some quarterbacks that stick out to you?
Kind of like the guys I said: Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. He needs to go to a team like that. He can't go to I don't think he can go to the Patriots and flourish without us.
Right.
Obviously, that's depending on the quarterback and who's going to make it there. You know, I don't see him going to a Denver Broncos, for example. I know Noah Fant's there, but you know,
Panthers.
Panthers. Like, they need a solidified quarterback that can push them to the playoffs.
You're gonna hate this, but the Giants.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't see him flourishing there. And you have to think about it. He had two amazing quarterbacks. You know, he had Phillip Rivers, and he had the young gun in Justin Herbert, which is amazing. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Maybe it's too early, but it all depends on where he goes, really.
So, in your opinion, if there's not a strong quarterback, Hunter Henry is done.
In a fantasy perspective, yes.
Wow, that's very mob-esque. You're dead to me, Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, so from a fantasy football perspective, going into 2021, I don't think he's a guy in Dynasty you want to focus on too much. You probably want to find a trade partner. But for redrafts, you're pretty bullish on him not being a great value pick this year.
Correct.
For me, I kind of see him a little bit more in the sleeper category, depending on where he lands. If he lands with the Jags, and they do pay him some money, to me, sometimes, not always, that's why he's a sleeper, where the money goes, the opportunity follows, right? So for me, I kind of see him as a late round sleeper pick this year, depending on where he does land. Right. I was very surprised that the Chargers let him go. Yeah. I thought he was an important piece to that offense. Obviously, the Chargers feel like they can replace him. So that's not exactly.
I thought that as well. I thought, and you bringing up the Jaguars, I'm really interested because I'm thinking of Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, all these guys that are kind of, well, DJ Chark is, I guess we can say, older, and Shenault is going into his second year. But, you know, with the right quarterback, I think these guys can really flourish. And I think if Hunter Henry does go there...
Shenault's not old, sorry. I don't know if you just said that. I don't know if I heard that right, but he's a rookie last year.
Who?
Did you say Laviska?
Well, he's going into his second year.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I heard you say he was getting older. I might be getting older.
No, I said Chark. I said if we think about it, Chark is getting older, but Laviska Shenault is going to his second year. But
you know what? I'm gonna keep interrupting you. I'm great at it. Laviska Shenault could be a really great sleeper himself this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if he does go to a team like the Jaguars, where there's two other people competing for touches, you know, I think Hunter Henry can get drowned out there, in my opinion. He'll be more of a run blocking situation, you know, maybe goal line situations if he does. Yeah. You know, he's gonna get lost in that offense, in my opinion.
My only rebuttal to that is they're not gonna pay the man if they're not gonna use him.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
All right. While Hunter Henry started his career quickly, Robert Tonyan arguably did the opposite. I mean, finally, in the last year of his contract, Bobby Toney Jr., a.k.a. Bobby Trees, had a breakout season.
Yeah.
He's now entering free agency on a restricted basis.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
I mean, he's 26 years old. He finished tight end 4, average 11 points per game. And look, that's crazy. I don't think any of us expected that. Bobby Toney Jr. came out of nowhere. And is he staying in Green Bay in 2021?
Well, let's play a percentage game here, right? Because of the restricted tag he has in free agency,
right?
There's probably a 90% chance that he stays in Green Bay.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're a restricted free agent, it gives the team that you play for so many opportunities to retain your services. I also believe that beyond that, Aaron Rodgers really likes this guy. There's a real brotherly love type relationship here.
Yeah.
You could see when Robert Tonyan was succeeding, Aaron Rodgers loved it. There was a little bit of a twinkle in his eye, if you may. So I think that Rodgers, would prefer him to be back, and I think hopefully that holds a lot of weight. Last year in the offseason, the Packers honestly showed that they don't care about Aaron Rodgers and his desires. But hopefully this year, that he almost got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be like, okay, wait. The window is still very much open.
Yeah.
Let's bring back a guy that Aaron Rodgers likes.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. And I think we have to remember he's 26 years old. I don't think a team is going to be paying big top dollar for an older guy. And it was his first time we saw him produce, you know, in his career in a big way. And I don't think other teams specifically other teams are going to be interested in someone like a Robert Tonyan over Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith as free agents. So in my opinion, I completely agree with you. I think he does stay in Green Bay. I don't think there's any chance. Well, there is a 10% chance, but to me, there's a 90% chance that he does stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's live in that 10% world for a second then. And let's say he leaves for whatever reason. Let's say a team offers him a contract and Green Bay does not match it. What's the best spot for him? What's the best landing spot there?
Look, in all honesty, this may be boring take you probably ever heard, but the Colts feel right, in my opinion. He looks like a typical Colts guy. He's going to rock up there in the all-white jersey, but I hate it for fantasy. Absolutely hate it.
I'm not going to lie. You're right. I'm glad that you said this might be boring because that was very boring to listen to.
Fantasy football podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But, Colts can make sense. He seems like a guy who could fit the Colts. But I would love Bobby Trees to stay in Green Bay, especially for fantasy. I think anyone who has him in a dynasty league is probably thinking, please stay in Green Bay for the next 3 years at least so I can get some service out of you. And redrafts. Anyone who's thinking about targeting him, Green Bay is the best destination for fantasy, right? Stay where you are.
Yeah, stay where you are. You have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you have the touches. You finished tight end 4, brother. If you can stay, you're staying.
We're just sending a little voice memo today, Junior. We're sending a voice memo to Bobby Trees. Stay where you are, brother. Okay, one guy we do know is going to be in a new city, confirmed, is Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Jonnu Smith. And I'm even more excited that he's a free agent.
Okay.
He's still a very young guy, only 25 years old. Finished as the tight end 16 in fantasy last year, which was not fun.
No.
Okay. But a lot of people from weeks 1 to 5 were cashing in on Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
From weeks 1 to 5, he was a tight end 4 in all of fantasy football.
Sheesh.
The tight end 4. He was averaging 5.4 targets per game. And then weeks 6 to 17, he was tied in 23, I believe, if I'm not correct. I could be wrong.
What happened?
But 3.4 targets per game. What happened? I think we all know A.J. Brown was injured from those weeks 1 to 5.
Right.
But the reality is, Jonnu showed that he can make an impact on a team and be fantasy relevant. Why the Titans decided to completely ignore him after A.J. Brown came back, I don't know. But my question for you is, for Jonnu, and please, for fantasy football, what's the best team for him to land in?
First thing that comes to mind are the Dallas Cowboys, and they don't necessarily need a tight end, but I do believe Jonnu Smith is an upgrade to the guys that they have. They have Blake Jarwin. Obviously, he tore his ACL last year, and then Dalton Schultz came in and tried to fill that spot, and he just wasn't that guy. So I believe, if he does go to the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys make some sort of deal. Do we know their cap situation now with the whole Dak Prescott situation?
Let me look as you talk. I don't think they're in a very good. I think they're actually in the next 4 years. They're in one of the worst scenarios.
Okay,
so that's the only combat to that.
Yeah,
but
so
they're currently, as it stands today, this very moment, they have $19 million in cap. So they have enough space.
Yeah.
But if you look at 2024, which is 4 years from now, they are in the worst cap situation. So I'm not sure how they're going to go forward.
Right. Okay.
But
they still have a lot of people to pay on defense.
As soon as you said the Cowboys, that's a sexy fit. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, and it is a beautiful fit, and I love that scenario. I mean, we all know, the tight end history in Dallas, which is really just Jason Witten, and since I've been alive or been watching football.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dak to Jonnu Smith is beautiful.
Yeah. I can honestly just picture it in my head already. I can hear Scott Hansen saying, Dak Prescott, 35-yard touchdown to Jonnu Smith. Wow, the Cowboys are still down 30, but what a touchdown. Some other teams that make sense is the Bengals. I think let's give Joey B a guy to grow with. He's a young quarterback. Let's give him some more targets.
Right.
They have some good wide receiving options, but they don't have a tight end that necessarily sticks out. Washington makes sense. We've heard that the Washington football team is looking to add another tight end alongside Logan Thomas.
Are you guys going to do like a 2 tight end set deal or in the offensive scheme?
I've heard that they want to expand the offense.
Right.
So
more blocking for Gibson there.
Yeah, I guess Johnny's not really that blocking type though.
But you never know.
You know what? And I don't want to. Please, there's context to what I'm about to say. Jonnu Smith, very much like Kyle Pitts, is a wide receiver playing the tight end position.
Okay, yeah.
I am not saying that Jonnu Smith is Kyle Pitts. They are very different players.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
different upsides. But Jonnu Smith has a wide receiver type body. He's a very, very matchup. I guess he's a guy when a defense looks at a team, that's a matchup that would scare them. Washington might want to add a wrinkle there. The Cardinals is the team, other than the Cowboys, that excites me the most, Badaki.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, they need a guy to take pressure off of DeAndre Hopkins. It's pretty obvious last year that teams were focusing in on D-Hop.
Yeah.
And
hopefully Larry retires.
I think Kyler...
He hasn't retired yet?
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah,
not that we want Larry out. I mean, we love Larry.
We love Larry. We just have an Instagram post waiting to post, and it's just in our drafts. We're like, Larry, when are you going to retire? Same with Drew Brees. Just let us know, honestly. Was it worth our time to make those posts? Yeah, look, I think this could help the Cardinals' offense. They need a true weapon after DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk, all respect to him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the guy that defenses are worried about. I don't know if that's disrespectful.
No, I definitely agree with you. It's not disrespectful.
Yeah, Jonnu's only 25, still a young guy.
And we saw glimpses of Dan Arnold doing something for that offense and them incorporating him a lot.
When you say glimpses...
Say that again?
When you say glimpses.
Glimpses.
Okay?
And just imagine if that was a younger, faster guy.
Yeah.
Dan Arnold is not that much older than Jonnu. I think he's around 27-ish. Don't quote me on that, but I think he is definitely older. I know Jonnu is younger, but just imagine young, swifty guy that can come in with that offense. Ooh.
A Swift day.
Oh.
Yeah, I cannot believe somehow we are talking about Dan Arnold on the podcast.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Come on.
Huh? Who would have thought?
Not me.
Shout out to the Postman. Look, I think the Cowboys and Cardinals are my favorite destinations for Jonnu Smith from a fantasy perspective, right?
Yeah.
Those both just feel really nice, real comfy fit for fantasy.
I like it. Look, other guys to keep an eye out on and how they can impact your fantasy team. Joe Everett, he's on there. I don't know.
Everett. Before we, yeah, you know I'm not hyped on Gerald Everett. I mean, I hate to be rude, and I've just been rude this entire day. Maybe it's a me.
It's
problem.
okay. I mean, we've both been kind of mean. I was mean to Hunter Henry, saying his career in fantasy is over. I mean, he probably really doesn't care about his career in fantasy, but
that's actually awful. I mean, out of the two people that have been, you've been way worse than me today. So, no.
yeah, I agree with you.
But look, here's the deal. Here's the deal with Gerald Everett. To me, he's just the off-brand Jonnu Smith. That's terrible. That's terrible to say. But that's how it feels to me. I'm not excited about it.
We love you, Gerald. Hope you find a great team that can suit you. Rob Gronkowski, I mean, the man retired. When he was sent off to another team that wasn't with Tom Brady. In my opinion, there's two options. He stays with Tampa or he's going to retire again. He's not going to go to any other team.
He's either staying in Tampa Bay, Champa Bay, whatever you want to call it, or he's going to join the broadcast booth again and watch someone else win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he signed that deal with NFL, I forgot, the NFL Network or something like that.
CBS. I could be wrong, but yeah.
He signed with somebody and then he appeared on TV once. Then he was gone.
Yeah, I remember, and he looked so awkward on TV. It was hilarious.
Jared Cook, I mean, this guy's a free agent.
Sorry, quickly, I just looked it up. He signed with Fox Sports.
Yeah, there you go.
Just so we have our sources correct. Jared Cook.
Yeah.
Not a guy that we are excited about.
No, we're not excited about Jared Cook and just a waste of your time, but you should know. And the last guy on our list, which is, in my opinion, the best quote, he's not necessarily a free agent, but
the best of the rest.
Yeah, he is. He could be getting traded. We heard a lot of rumors, and that's Zach Ertz. And I love him being reunited with the Colts. If you listen to our other podcasts, I said Nelson Aguilar, and our wide receiver podcast, free agent Nelson Aguilar reunited with Carson Wentz. Zach Ertz reunited with Carson Wentz. It's a reunion. Okay, it's the Eagles, the Super Bowl Eagles reunion at the Colts. Do you agree?
Just letting my thoughts play out right now. Sorry, I think I fell asleep there for a second.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, the story's great. I just care about fantasy, so that just doesn't excite me at all personally.
Look, let's really break it down, okay? Chris Carson, and if you hear some noise, somebody's vacuuming, and I apologize. If Zach Ertz reunited with Carson Wentz, okay? Carson Wentz only has Michael Pittman Jr.
Sorry. Go ahead. You're not going to convince me, but I'm listening.
There's only Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor there, okay? I'm not really worried about them. You know, that's really it. That's all I can say. He's going to go to the Colts and play with Carson Wentz. That's what I mean, I think I like the reunion. They can come in. He can be a leader on that team because they need a leader on that team, especially on offense. So I think it's great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Need to Know News to close the show today.
What is going on here?
All right, Need to Know News. This is what's happening around the NFL. Mark Ingram signs a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans.
I mean,
and
that's not exciting.
That's exciting, or no? It's not, is it?
Nah, it's not exciting. Look, if anything, it kind of gives you a little bit more of a security blanket for David Johnson in a way. If you really want to take a positive away from this.
This hurts David Johnson, if anything.
In my opinion, I think it solidifies his workload. I don't think Mark Ingram is going to have a significant workload in the offense. But who knows?
I think it literally does the opposite, to be honest. They brought in Mark Ingram and David Johnson are pretty much at the same stage in their career.
Right.
It's like bringing in two old guys, and I feel like it's just going to be a 50-50 split at this point. I don't. What has David Johnson shown to tell us? Yeah, he should get the ball more than Mark Ingram. You know. So
yeah, for sure.
For me, it hurts. It hurts David Johnson in dynasty and redrafts going forward.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Look, once again, it's probably still really early. We have no idea how that offense is going to look at this very moment. The only two players on this team is David Johnson and Mark Ingram. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
The Houston Texans. Someone please send help.
He needs some milk.
All right, Young Ho Koo, the GOAT, returns to the Atlanta Falcons. Why is this relevant? Because this dude tore up fantasy scores last year. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Young Ho Koo. I know that's so dumb, but if you play in a league that has kickers, be targeting Young Ho Koo.
Yep.
Now the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs,
this is huge.
The team that had a bunch of issues in the Super Bowl protecting their quarterback because of injuries, because of the guys that were missing. Well, they've decided we were so bad in the Super Bowl protecting Patrick Mahomes. We're going to go ahead and let go of the guys who we thought would probably help us if they were there.
Okay.
They've released right tackle Mitchell Schwartz and left tackle, former first-round pick, by the way, left tackle Eric Fisher. Both were massive pieces to that offensive line and was a big reason as to why they had no chance in the Super Bowl. They could not protect Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Obviously, the new salary cap has a big part to play in this, right?
Absolutely.
Because the league did not lose money last year, but they weren't as profitable.
Correct.
So there are going to be a lot of valuable players who will be cut in the offseason. It's just a reality. It's just going to happen.
Which is crazy. That sounds crazy to me.
Something I have thought about is teams who have a lot of cap space this offseason might have a bigger advantage than ever before. Mm-hmm. Because, one, a bunch of great players are getting released because teams simply cannot afford them. And two, the market is so bad that teams will get discounted contracts for good players.
Yeah.
So if your team has a lot of cap space this offseason, now is a time for them to capitalize on this situation. You could see a lot of great players being cut. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's done.
Look, you're right, and we've seen a lot of players get cut. Like, you know, I can pull up a little list of players. The first one I can think of, for example, obviously the older ones, the two people, Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher, Janoris Jenkins. You know, we cut Zettler. Is it not Zettler? Kevin Zettler, but we released him in the Giants. Like, there's so many people that have been cut. Emmanuel Sanders. And it's not like these guys are big pieces or fantasy pieces or fantasy relevant, but these guys play major parts on these teams. And, you know, maybe we all thought that they could stay here for another year or two. Like, no way I would have said, if you would have told me last year that the Chiefs would have cut these two guys, Fisher and Schwartz, we would have said, yeah. We would have said, no way. Yeah. You're crazy.
John Brown, another guy that we should talk about. John Brown was cut. There's a lot of Tyler Eifert. They declined his option. There's a lot of players. I cannot believe that Kyle Van Noy was cut by the Dolphins. You go down the list, and it's actually shocking to see how many good players already have been cut.
Yeah.
There will be more, but that is the landscape of a pandemic that happened last year, unfortunately. What we can take as a conclusion from this news with the Chiefs, this probably solidifies their draft needs.
Yes.
Is there any way they don't take an offensive lineman in the first round with their first pick?
No, it looks like that's the way it's going. Obviously, they have 31st pick in the draft, clearly. So I can't think of an offensive lineman that's going to fall that far that we can tell you that can bring them value right now. We would probably have to do a little bit more research on who would fall. I think they will probably get the 5th or 6th offensive lineman. There's
a guy that comes to mind for me, and I just need to find his name. He's out of Texas. Samuel Cosme comes to mind.
Okay.
I've seen him. Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. Words are hard. Those are some names that come to mind for me that could drop. But, it's if they just let go one of these guys, we would still be saying, dang, that's a crucial piece of the offensive line. They're going to have to replace him in the draft. Well, they let go of 2 very important pieces of that line.
There's other.
It's just there's got to be a reason why, but it's just really hard to see.
Nah, and just one last point. They cut these guys or release these guys, but there's other offensive linemen that are out there that we expect. Well, we can say the offensive line market right now looks pretty good. I know Joe Thunley is out there. Orlando, I think his name's Orlando Brown from the Ravens. I don't know if
he's a trade target.
Yeah, so things like that, in my opinion, the Kevin Zettler from the Giants. There's other pieces that the Chiefs.
Imagine Trent Williams somehow signs with the Chiefs.
How is that possible?
Wow.
How is that possible, in my opinion, if they're releasing these 2 guys and have no money or are short on money? It does.
So that's the thing. You and I have obviously learned a lot about the salary cap from some of our friends at Clubhouse. Oh, they have to span it out over a 4-year period.
Yeah.
So in 2024, they still have $195 million free. Basically, in the next 4 years, they have to use that $195 million in making sure that they still stay under the cap within the last 4 years. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a chance. I think the thing for Trent Williams to think about is, if I join this Chiefs team, is there a chance for me to win a Super Bowl? He is in that part of his career now, right? So he could take a little pay cut. Anyway, there's a lot of news that's going to be happening throughout the offseason, guys. Last thing we want to tell you is James Conner. There's some serious interest from the Miami Dolphins. I hate this.
I hate this too.
With passion.
I thought about this as while I was when we were kind of brainstorming and I heard the news. Do you hate this because you believe it doesn't help the Miami Dolphins and it takes away from Myles Gaskin? Or do you hate, what's the reason for it? Because if that's the case, we should hate anyone. For example, Aaron Jones going to Miami. We should hate that Myles Gaskin is going to be taken away or taking touches away.
No.
I don't know.
Well,
there's 2 different ways you could think of it.
How much time have you got? I can tell you why I hate him. How much time have you got? I don't hate the guy. We're actually being so rude today. But
not hate.
I hate it for fantasy purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I don't think if Connor comes into Miami, he's going to make a big impact, but he will take away from Myles Gaskin. If Aaron Jones steps into Miami, Aaron Jones will get all the volume. I don't think that's the case with James Conner. It will be more of a split backfield.
Right.
Right. If Aaron Jones comes into Miami, he will play that true 1 and 2 down role. He will get a lot of volume. But James Conner and Myles Gaskin will be more of a timeshare. So I'm not excited about it at all.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it either. I think I just wanted to bring that point because I do like Aaron Jones there, and I do agree with you. I do think Myles Gaskin throughout the season, as they start utilizing Aaron Jones a lot more because he's not used to that workload in his career, coming in with Jamal Williams and all these other guys, I think there is a possible chance Aaron Jones will get injured. There's a possible chance anyone gets injured. and I think the reason why I think Aaron Jones specifically will get injured is due to the workload he has never received and that he will receive if he goes to Miami. That's my thought process. I could be wrong, but look, we won't know until the season's here and wherever team he goes to.
We won't know until the next couple weeks when the free agency market opens. Okay, guys, there's going to be a ton of moves that happen. Trades, free agency, NFL draft, people being cut. There's a ton of things to keep up with. one link we're going to give you right now so you can follow us on our socials and keep up with everything. That link is solo.to/fantasylandfootball. Again, solo.to/fantasylandfootball. That's where you can find our Facebook group, where you can request to be a part of it so you can join us in our live mock drafts. That's where you can find our Twitter, our Instagram, our TikTok. You can subscribe to our YouTube page. One link. Super convenient for you. And the last thing we want to tell you is how you can support our show going into year 2. Badaki, how can people support you and I?
Absolutely. Patreon.com/fantasylandfam. If you like what we're doing, like Zach said, all the social media things that you are seeing online, the videos, the information that you're getting, the breaking news, that's the best way to say, you know what? Hey, guys, we love what you're doing. We can't wait for year 2. And that we want you. You want us to help you win your championship. And there is a new tier that we're going to be releasing of how we can help you solidify, or we hope to help you solidify that championship and going into next year's season. So take a look at, once again, at patreon.com/fantasylandfam. Thank you so much. We actually really appreciate that, honestly.
Oh, yeah. The support has been amazing in year 1. Let's keep pushing on for year 2. Tell your friends, tell your moms, tell your dads, tell your pops, tell your family.
It's all love. It's all love.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next podcast. We might be doing a mock draft. We're going to figure that out. But we will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day. See you there.
See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.